Today we are going to get started with the PySpark syntaxes. Okay. So I mean, one thing you can see, the yesterday's job runs have costed me around $0.6. So I think I executed Visual Studio job, 3 or 4 times because I also have one class in morning, and I executed crawler once or twice. That's all. Okay, so for you can say $0.1, it's costing me for every run, approximate. Just FYI. Now we will come on AWS Glue. Okay, so we are going to get started with the PySpark, and we are going to actually execute, on AWS Glue notebooks for this demo. I'll suggest you, okay, I'll again suggest you to get it done with the help of local PySpark installed. Okay, do not pay unnecessary charges because you will need a lot of practice than these demos. I should have string functions.
Jalaj, one thing quickly, can you summarize what we have done so far in Glue? Just crawling part, or because I did not get enough time to look at the recordings yet.
Okay, so we have gone through the crawlers part. Okay, and we have also checked one thing. Okay, that is visual editor of the Glue jobs.
Okay.
That is not the correct folder. Just give me a moment.
So currently we are on ETL part, right? Using PySpark.
Yes, currently we are on ETL part using the PySpark.
Okay. And do we have anything where we are going to create the S3 endpoint or something which is related to VPC? We are going to do in the Glue.
No, because VPC is not part of this course. It comes from the solution architect side or the security side.
If I have my custom VPC, can I run the Glue job in the custom VPC also, right?
Yeah, you can run custom jobs inside custom. See, VPC is actually nothing but a virtual private cloud that basically stands for some IP addresses. Okay,
Right.
that what happens. Your security rules, security groups, net gateway, all these security functions comes into the picture. So like I am running my codes like on the normal or you can say default VPC, but in actual real time you will find that most of the times, at least for your server services, okay, for EC2, for Redshift, these services will be running in the private VPC, and for that you will need to maintain some IP addresses, some security rules, and all that is a work of a network and security engineers.
Okay, so I have seen one video on the Udemy that the course was referring S3 endpoint in VPC. So the only meaning of S3 endpoint is something that we are going to create a private connection with S3. That's it, right?
That's it. That's it. And in that sort of connections, now your data does not flow on the internet. It flows through some
Private channels. Yeah.
yeah, private endpoints.
Okay, got it.
So there is one command. Yeah, yes. So we will come on ETL jobs. Okay. Here I'll start a notebook. I'll say start fresh. I'll choose a IAM role. I'll use Glue with notebook. What is this? Okay, let's create this notebook. From the second it starts, it's going to charge you, and it's going to charge you based on the number of DPUs you use while running your notebooks. Okay, so whether you run the code or not, you are actually chargeable. So minimum number of worker it accepts is as 2. Okay. So I will cut through all these example codes. You can look at this if you want. I'll set number of workers. It should be workers, not worker, to 2. Okay. Now we are actually in the PySpark thing. So you can see it's the concept is exactly same as the notebook that we had in the other Anaconda. Okay. So, but only difference is that this notebook is running on PySpark shell on serverless mode, and we are currently using 2 number of workers. That is going to cost me around $1 per hour. Okay. So now here, first let's import all the libraries. Most of them, see, as I told you, by default, not all the libraries comes into the shell. You'll have to import some of those. Which one to import when, you will learn this by experience, not by memorizing these things. Okay. But yeah, if I say instead of SQL functions import call or simple SQL functions import current date and late, I could have used SQL functions import start. That basically means from this library I'm going to import the all of the functions. Okay, then I don't need to write this line of code. Okay, so you have to be you have to be patient with these things. As in when you start using these things, you will start also understanding by default you will start understanding these libraries as well. So no need to memorize these things. Focus on your goal. So what we have now is we have a file. That file is here. This is the file. Okay. So we have some countries data set. I mean, it's a very basic data set that I got from the internet. Some countries, their name, their population, area, and region IDs, all those things. So there are ways of reading the files on PySpark. Okay. So I can directly use this command. In this line of code, basically, I'm reading the file from the location. It's actually, if you come here on S3, if you see under the countries folder, again, I have 2 folders, and in these kind of syntaxes, if I come back here, if I'm saying countries, then /, if I'm not mentioning the exact file name, my code is going to try to read the CSV file from this period location, and it will try to read all the CSV files. And what will happen? It will have 2 different kind of conflicts, because in this region file has only 2 columns. Okay, and this country's file has around, I mean you can see here we have 12 columns. Okay, so this will be a conflict. So you have to make sure while you are passing the path to the file, either you mention the complete file name till the file's actual name, or if you are mentioning the folder level detail, you have to make sure that under the particular folder, I mean you can have multiple files. Okay, you can have multiple files, but one thing that you have to make sure that all the files have the same schema. Correct? You're getting my point? It should not vary with the schema. Now what I have to do, I have to come inside this folder. Now this file is actually I want to read, so I will copy this SURI. Okay, do not try to write it out by manually, because it might cause troubles to you via syntax error. Path might not be correct while you type it. So copy this SURI, come back and paste it here. Okay. Now, right now, I'm passing this information header equals to true. This basically means my first line contains the header. If I execute this, see this dark black basically means it's running right now.
So which keyboard button you are using to execute? This is shortcut, right?
Yes, yes, it is shift enter.
Sorry, shift plus enter.
Yes, exactly same as that we have on. Okay, this is interesting. Exactly same as that we have on Anaconda tool or any other notebook tool.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you see, if I execute this countries underscore df dot show, it shows me the data. Okay. This is how my data looks. It shows 20 rows by default. Now, one interesting thing, if you see here, if I instead of show, if I say print schema, PySpark also, by the way, is a case sensitive language. Okay. You see, my country IDs all having string, name is only having string, nationality, like all the columns are considered as string. Okay. Why? Because we have passed the header equals to true, but we haven't passed an argument called infer schema. Okay. If I take that argument as well here, that is infer schema equals to true. Now, what is going to happen? My job, this code is actually also going to try to scan the data and try to infer the data type for that. So if I execute this one now, and then if I execute print schema, you see now schema is different. Obviously, column names are going to be same, but if you see, we have integer, string, string, integer, double, like that. We have the proper schema for our columns. Okay, so this is one thing, and this is like we are reading a CSV file. Same way we can read Parquet, JSON, and other file format as well. Okay, so there's no restriction on that side. Then there's one more way of doing it. Okay. If you see here, I have one more PPT to explain you later in the course. So this one actually mostly talks about the optimizations and some advanced concepts in the Spark. Okay, so it's the number of jobs in the Spark, number of tasks in Spark, number of stages in the Spark. This I mean, when you try to reduce all these things, your performance is going to improve. So what basically happens actually, Database is a tool, okay, that actually shows that how many stages were launched during the execution of a particular code. Unfortunately, AWS Glue is not showing that part to you. But if you execute the same code on the data stage, sorry, data breaks, okay, not data stage, you will find that Spark starts reading. Spark actually starts 2 tasks, okay. We will discuss more about tasks or stage and jobs, but Spark code actually starts 2 tasks. One task to read the file and another to scan the file. Okay. Now, if your file size is less, like in some KBs, MBs, or some small number of GBs, I mean GBs, I will not consider a small one, okay, for this particular operation. So what will happen now? It will take some time. Okay, it will actually, this infer schema is going to go through all the columns. It's going to go through all the records, and then it's going to infer the schema for you. But if you, let's say, if you have a 5 GB of file, 10 GB of file, and you have many such files, you are going to be wasting very precious seconds to execute that code. So what is the ideal practice here in the productions, that you mention your own schema. Okay, you will define your own schema struct type, something like this. Okay, in which I am saying that I have these fields. This is a syntax. I mean, you can copy paste and place your field names and their types. This is the schema that you will mention, and then your schema is actually prepared. Now you can use this kind of syntax. Okay, I'll make it alt set and actually remove this. Then we can use this kind of syntax. Okay, where actually we pass hard coded schema. Okay, instead of saying infer schema, I am saying schema equals to countries schema. that I have already defined. Okay. Now if I do countries df.print schema, it's going to show me the exact schema that I wanted to have. See, it might be a bit task to create the schema field struct type, but in production it is actually very feasible. Let's say you have a 5 GB of data that you want to read, and if you define the schema for that, even let's say you have 50 columns, okay, still it's much better to define your schema and then work with that. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions till this point of time.
I'm good.
Any questions?
Yeah, actually. So this data type we have defined, right? So is it like Spark specific syntax or it is Python syntax?
No, this is Spark syntax. I mean, you can say all of that I have on this particular page. It's all Spark syntax.
Okay.
See, on the same notebook, you can still execute the Python thing. Okay. I mean, if you do print hello work, it's not going to throw you error. So both Python and Spark syntax will work on this notebook. Okay, in that case. Then selecting the specific columns. And I mean, as you have, let's say if you have multiple columns and you want to select only few of those for demo purpose or for printing purpose or for verification purpose, you can simply do dot show after and. Understand, print data frame is not going to help you here. It's dot show. Okay. If I do this, I'll get these 3 columns selected. I don't know why it is blank. It is blank because at that moment I have read the wrong path. Let's fix it. I'll pick the correct path. I hope you got it. I created the correct data frame here. Then it got overwritten at this location. Okay. I have to fix my path. Re-execute this. I was able to print the schema properly because I have given the hard-coded schema. Then if I do select now, you can see I have proper data. In show, you can pass the number of records you want to see. Let's see if you pass 5, it's going to print you 5 records for you. Okay. Then there's one more variety of selecting the thing. Here you use call function of the PySpark to pick the columns. No major difference in the output. If you pass 5 here, the output will be exact same. Then we have an example of selecting a column and renaming that. So either we can use alias. So this is if you convert this into SQL, it is like selecting some column name and alias it like some other name. So if I read it out to you in the SQL way, so we are saying select name as country name from countries table. Okay, and limit 5. So if I do this, we will get country name for 5 countries. Okay, this is understand. This is you are just selecting it. You are not modifying the actual data frame. Okay, understand this part. Once you when you want to modify the actual data frame, you either have to It is exactly like Python. You have to say countries df equals to like that. Okay. In this case, you are going to modify the original data frame. If you say df2 or something else, you are going to create a new data frame. Okay. So if I execute this, it's going to work like this. Okay. But now we have countries df2 created. So if you want to use a with column, that is also available, kind of same operation, but a different syntax. You can see this time we have selected two columns, select name as country name, select population as country population, and have limited the records to 5. Okay. So what I'm doing first is I'm using the select to select only two columns, and then on those selected two columns I do a with column rename. Okay. I rename name to country name. I rename population to country population. Okay. So whichever suits you better, you can use the syntax to rename the column. Then whenever you want to append or create a new column in your data frame, okay, whenever you want to create a new column in your data frame or want to modify the existing column in your data frames, you have to use with column. Okay. With column basically stands for creating or updating the columns in your PySpark data frames. If I do a dot show here, sorry, my bad. Okay, we can see that we have proper data frame here, and I have added the current date here. Okay, so we do have current date column here, and we are getting the proper dates here. Okay, so see how it actually works is, if you say with column, and then next, the first thing that you have to provide is column name. Okay. Now, if you provide a column name that is already not existing in your data frame, then with column will assume it like you are trying to create a new column. Okay. If you mention the exact same column name, let's say if I mention country code or some column that is already present there, then with column will treat that you want to do something with the existing column. Okay. Then after the comma, you pass the logic. This logic can be anything, like right now it is selecting the current date, then it can be anything. Okay, I think I have one more example of this. Then it can be hard coding some value. It can be some calculations like this. So if you see this example, in this example, I am simply saying that I want to get population. Okay, but I would like to get population in million. That's why I would divide it by million. Okay. In this case, my current population column that is right now having exponential values is going to be in millions. So if I execute this, you see here I have 55312, but now I have some 0.05 million population for this particular country. Okay, my existing column is getting modified, but here if I say, if I name it differently in million, something like this, if I say and execute this, then my existing column, okay, this population column will not be affected. It will have same values, but it will add up a new column in population in million in the existing data frame. Okay, so what we'll get from this, with column, to create or update the columns, first thing you have to pass the column name. Second thing, you have to pass the logic. Logic can be select some function, some calculation, or some hard coded values. It can be anything basically that you want. Whatever the logic you can think, you can apply it here. Okay, so this is a function to lit. Let's check out this one also. Lit is actually nothing but when you hard code the values, you can not simply directly hard code it like that. you have to mention the hard coded values in the lit function. Okay, so if you do this, let's say if I just simply add my name and set the data frame, then I'll get it something like this. I'll add updated by, and I'll get on every row my name. Okay, so it will update the hard coded value on every row. So this is something like select star from table, comma. I mean, this is something like select star, comma, updated by Jalaj as updated by. I mean, let me write it, and it will be much more easier. This is something like this. Okay, select star, comma, Jalaj as updated by from table. Okay, this is what hard coded lit is actually doing. You cannot pass this value directly. Okay, you have to say lit. Then I mean, see, I'll wait here. I'll pause here. If you have any questions in this part, you can let me know.
Jalaj, you're passing the worker values, right? Worker node values. So if we don't give 2, what will be the value? It will take any default value or how it is?
It is 5. It is 5. I mean, last time it was 5. Now I made it should be 5 only.
Okay, so number of worker nodes also increasable.
Yes, yes. I mean, if you say 100, you will see a humongous bills.
Okay.
You cannot use 1 and 2 is more than sufficient. And as I'm saying, maybe one code snippet you can practice on notebook, but I'm recommending again, please download Spark locally on your computer so you can practice a lot. And without worrying the bills, obviously, because at the time of learning, you should not worry about the bills. Like, see, right now for me, I have to give you demos on cloud. OK, I cannot give demos to you on local Spark because it will be confusing for you that how I do this on cloud. And I know what I'm doing. Maybe in 1 hour, 2 hour, or 3 hour, I will finish this. OK, I'll pay $6 to $7 in every batch. That is affordable to me because I'm earning from these classes. OK, you are not earning from it. You are spending it, and then you have to spend more to practice. Let's not do that part. OK, practice it locally. It is exact same thing. OK.
One more doubt regarding this thing, right? Do we really need to pay bill? We can't just practice and then delete the account and create a new account.
We can do it, but for 2 months, and it has to be a bit less. OK, I mean, if you generate a bill of million, then obviously they will chase you. Yeah, so yeah, if you have any questions in the code part.
Not this part, Jalaj. So same for Karthik regarding this worker nodes. So increasing the worker node will enhance the performance, right?
Yes.
Okay, but also it will generate huge bill.
Yes.
So where we are defining the capacity of the nodes, or is it pre-configured by AWS?
By default, it is configured by AWS 2.5. First thing before you start this, as you can see, after my from statements execution, let's actually make it the first line of code. This is what you have to execute first. Number of workers to 2.
Okay, like the way you have started.
Yes, yes, yes. Let's make it more clear. And see, as Ritesh asked, you can definitely, bluff them for once or maybe twice. OK, how do twice? OK, let's say you generate a bill of $50. OK, till $50, those guys are fine. $1,500, they are fine. Just raise a support ticket and say I'm just starting new. This is the first time for me. Blah blah blah, and then in 3-4 days, if you are lucky, mostly you will be lucky. Okay, and they will cut off your bills, and they will give you some vouchers also. Let's say $50 more to practice. But after that, you have no option. You have to pay. If you do not pay, your account will be seized. Okay, it is not a very ethical practice to do it like that. Okay, that's why I say practice ethically and practice on local. Okay, if you are not, I mean, see, by mistake also sometimes you can generate bills. Okay, I also got a bill of $100, but I proved them that it was not my fault. It was actually their fault. Okay, it was Lambda in what do you say? Lambda in infinite mode. Lambda recursion mode was there. It was not started by me. It was some glitch in the AWS. I was able to prove them. Okay, but do not get in those fights. Okay, just it is exactly same. Okay, just download the Spark locally, use it there, and run your code there. If you see any video on YouTube or Udemy, you will get that option to install the Spark. But yes, to get the feel and to get some hands-ons, use the notebooks as well. Okay, so if you have no questions in this part, let's move towards the next thing. Then what we are doing, we are simply casting the name to integer type. Obviously, this will not work. It's going to give you all nulls because we have some string and we are trying to convert that into an integer. That is obviously not a correct way to do it, but just for the practice that how we cast the things, we can do it like here. I'm saying select name from the country's data frame and cast it to integer types and return the data type of that column. If I do it, I'll get now name has been converted into integer. Obviously, if I try to select, I'll get all nulls there. Same way, we have a population. If I cast this into population, I mean cast population into string type. Okay. Now if I see, if you see it very closely, what I have done, I have created a new data frame. Okay, you do not get confused here. This country's df is not equal to this country's df. Okay, because this is small df, this is capital df. Now if you see, population column is now of a string type. It is no more than an integer type. Okay, if I print the country's data frame, I will simply now they have involved AI here. That is not helping out. Country's small df, here we have population as a double column, not integer. Actually, it is double. Okay, this is the way to change the syntaxes. Sorry, change the data types of a columns, and it is actually usable. Okay, sometimes you might do it like converting string to date, date to strings. Some strings if you want to calculate, and those are actual numbers, we will do string to integers. These are actual transformation, and these are actual code that you might run. Okay. If you want to drop some column, obviously you have to use drop functions like Python. And here we have no option. Okay, like access all those things. We have to no need to make those things. Simply say drop and column name, and if you execute this, you will drop it actually. And if you see in the data frame return type, we have no population column available here. Then let's quickly go through the string functions. These are not complex ones. See, on every note that I have provided, we have this same thing. OK, it is like reading the file with a schema. And like Python, we have some functions examples here. You can pick them up and you will see that right now I'm using upper. I'm selecting upper. OK, I have to import the upper. So let's do it like this. Run this one, import star. And then if I come back here on down, if I execute this and say dot show as well, you can see all my countries' name are in upper class. Okay, If I say lower, they will become lower, obviously. I can also do it like this. I can say countries df, okay, countries df dot with column. Okay, if I want to create a new column, I'll say upper in comma, and I will pass this syntax. A upper. Let's match the brackets. I have one left bracket. I'll apply that dot show. Execute this. Okay. If you see, I have added one upper column. Here my country name is camel case, but here I have on at the last I have a upper country name column. Okay. So I hope you get the difference between select and with column. Select is going to select only those things that you pass inside the select. Maybe you can do some small modifications, but with column is going to add that column. Okay. Then.
Jalaj, I have one question.
Yes, please.
In this part, as of now, there is no role of crawler and data catalog, right?
No. See, Glue Data Catalog is a complete different piece. Okay, PySpark has no connection to Glue Data Catalog.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes, you can.
Where is this schema is created is own memory, right?
Yes, it is. It is created on the data catalog. It is not created on Spark. Yes, you can read those tables into a data frame in Spark. Okay, you can use those, but it is not related to Spark.
So that column we are using this country ID, name, nationality, country code. This is being stored on memory, not in the data catalog of crawler.
No, this data frame is on memory. It is in memory. Okay. It is stored in the memory of those two DPUs, whatever they have with them.
Okay.
Okay. And initially we have read this from S3.
Okay.
Okay. Initially we have read this from the S3, converted this into data frame. Now this data frame is in memory.
In memory, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Okay. Then. Yeah, then we have length column. It gives you length of the column. I mean, it's a simple length function. Then if you want to concatenate two columns, you can use this syntax. Some examples I'm giving you, okay? Obviously not all. Some examples I'm giving you for the string functions. So we are selecting two columns and we are saying concat underscore with separator. Okay, if I simply say concat, then it's not going to add any separator. Okay, right now my separator is hyphen. That means two columns that I'm going to separate are going to be clearly visible, separated by hyphen. If I execute this, it will be more clear. You can see my country and country code are separated with the hyphen. If I remove this and if I don't want them to separate it, I can simply say like this, and this will also work. But this time I will not have any proper separation. Okay. See, one thing to make you very clear, okay, to learn PySpark, whatever you can do in SQL, whatever you can do in Python, you can also do in PySpark. Okay. So let's say you do group by in SQL, that you can do in Spark as well. So we do have some examples. We do have some examples for, I think sort one example is there. Then yeah, group and join, we have few examples. And filtering the data frames, we have some examples. Okay. The most common, the most used functions we have already used. Obviously, once you get familiar with the syntaxes, you can, look into the internet for more examples. And anyhow, in the actual project that we are going to do in the last, you will see some more complex transformations, and we will perform a proper SCD2. Okay, how to update the data frames, how to do proper joins, some meaningful transformations. Those obviously we will see. Right now we are starting from basics, and we will move towards the advanced. So yes, if you have any questions, I'll pass this data and these examples to you. Make sure that you apply number of them to be 2, and I'm going to stop the session. Make sure you stop the session as well. Okay. Do not think that it will get stopped. I mean, it will get stopped maybe after 1 or 2 hours. Okay, so let's pass the data as well. You have any questions, sir? Karthik, Ritesh. Oh, where is that D drive? Yeah, not able to see it. Okay, something I'm not able to see on this. Where is my D drive? Where is my D drive? This PC.
In this right, we are not creating any Spark context or any connection thing, right?
No. See, I mean, okay. Let me just a second. Huh? Country should have select. Let's save it. See, for this on this notebooks now that we launched previously, these notebooks already have a Spark context created and Spark session created by default. They already have a connection with the cluster. While they launch it, they already created.
Okay, so in this Spark context, like I can access a Hive database also.
No, not on this one. You can do that on EMR.
EMR.
See, Hive is a data warehouse. It is a separate than Spark.
Yeah, just like a database connectivity, like reading a file, right? Just reading a Hive.
You can do it. See, understand. This cluster that we launch, it is not installing Hive. Okay, we can connect to external Hive clusters. Those are available by passing a JDBC connection. But by default, on this cluster that we launched, like, see, this is serverless. There's actually no cluster. Yes, there are physical machines being worked on behind the scenes, but on those machines we have no access. Okay, so we cannot modify those machines after certain level. Okay, few modifications, few changes we can make via some settings that I'll tell you, but not beyond that.
Okay.
If you want,
will you be using this one in production also, like a real time in production? Apart from analysis,
Glue is very much used. It is actually very. It's a, you know, if you do not want any operational overhead, it is a very good tool. Like my both of the current projects are using AWS Glue only. They are not on EMR because EMR gets more expensive in that case.
Okay, so how they use this Glue in, if you see notebook, right? So how they will be productionize this notebook? So they'll be writing each steps. So they'll be converting to .py files and run through monthly like that, or how it run?
No. These notebooks are used for kind of development and validations and debugging part. Okay, once you go through that part, once you modify, once you test your code, you can convert those actually notebooks and also into a script editor, or you can copy paste your jobs. Okay, I mean, I do it copy paste only. You get something like this at the end. This is also notebook. What is it? Wait. I want Glue ETL Spark Shell job. Then at the end you get something like this. This kind of scripts will run the production. And you can schedule these scripts. You have schedules. You can trigger them based on time. You can trigger via Lambda functions. You can trigger based on S3 events. So how mostly it goes now. Let's say some file arrives in S3, it will trigger a Lambda function via event. That Lambda function will call this AWS glue job.
Yeah.
So you can refer this example.
Yeah.
You can refer this example. What is it? Cool.
And one more thing, yesterday I was telling, right, we won't keep everything on a database. We'll be keeping mostly in S3 only in real time. So like on real time, right? Like in legacy systems, we keep like a data Oracle. So we keep as an table level, right? So if they work in migration table, migration project, so they convert all the tables and keep it in S3 only.
Yes.
Okay, so one folder will be there. Inside that we have there'll be in real time, they'll be keep on creating with the table name like that, or?
See, when you have some data on RDS, okay, let's consider that you have some 5 TB or 10 TB data on Oracle systems and it is running on your local servers. Okay, migration basically means you are trying to eliminate that server. Okay, and that is not a complete scenario. Okay, what projects also do, okay, they also keep kind of a hybrid scenarios. Hybrid in the sense, let's say they will keep their normal processing on the local only, and for the analytical part, they will move the data to cloud. When they move it to cloud, they simply extract the data. Okay, if I'm not wrong, I haven't worked with these servers too much, like MySQL or Oracle, but if I'm not wrong, you can simply dump the data into CSV files. Okay, those CSV files can be pushed into S3 directly without any issues. Maybe you can use some tools, maybe you can use some SFTP transfers. Okay, if not, you can connect your DMS and pull the data to S3. Okay. Okay, these are two approaches, like complete migration and hybrid migration. In hybrid one, you only migrate your latest data and historical data to cloud for analytical purpose. When you want to completely eliminate the things, okay. So see, Karthik, again. Nowadays, let's say I am a banking customer. Okay, again, because bank is something that we all know what is bank. Okay, let's say we are a banking project and we have 50 years of data. Do you think that a bank will run its analytic processing or data engineering on 50 years of data at once? Do you really think that transitions that happened 50 years back are going to impact today's analysis? Obviously, no.
No.
Okay. So what these guys do, and also, okay, one major factor again is cost. Still, okay, these guys are paying for that 50 years of data on local also, via licensing, via size, via maintenance. Okay, understand that part? So what they do, they move the data, all data on S3. They keep old one on archive layer. They store latest one on the S3 standard buckets. Okay, from there they identify which data is of their use. Okay, how they want to use, what calculations they want to make, they design that phases. Okay, and then those designs comes to data engineer. Okay, data engineer will get requirement that you will get this data on S3. From here you'll have to pick it up in your ETL part. That ETL can be anywhere. It can be on Snowflake, it can be on AWS Glue, it can be on Databricks, it can be on Data Factory or any other ETL tool. Okay, we pick that data from that particular S3 path most of the times. Okay, most of the time, or you can say 95% of the times you will say S3 as a source only. You pick that data from S3, you combine that data with other master data if it is the architecture of your project. Okay, you do all the transformations and you save the data back onto your S3 again in a Parquet file format. Okay, I'm specifically saying Parquet because Parquet is the most used file format for your outputs. Okay, Now you will have the data in a columnar format on S3 as a Parquet file formats. Okay. What would you like to do with that data? Okay, maybe you would like to do some analytical querying. Okay, maybe you want to run some queries over the data. You can use Snowflake, Synapse, or Redshift as per your cloud, as per your convenience. Mostly it's Snowflake or Redshift in the case of AWS. Okay, it's never going to be Synapse. Synapse is an Azure tool. If you are running your ETL on Azure, then the end product is going to be Synapse. Okay, as simple as that. So let's say we have AWS Redshift. So we will push the data into AWS Redshift once our glue job does the complete processing. So now on Redshift, you are only storing the usable data. OK, and on Redshift also we write some scripts that basically truncates, or I should say I should not use the word truncate, I should use the word archive. That basically identifies in a table that which data is 2 years old, 3 years old, 5 years old, and we again archive the data back to S3. Okay, we delete the data from Redshift and we move the data to back to S3. Okay, for an archival purpose, because it's a banking data, we cannot delete that. But on the other hand, that data is not latest and it is not recommended for the analytical phase. Okay, now some BI tools, maybe ClickSense, Power BI, Tableau, anyone that your project picks, can connect to Redshift and pull the data and generate some reports. Those reports shows which part we are doing good, which part we are not doing good. It can vary as project to project. Okay, so as per I hope I answered your question. So why we store the huge data on S3? Because it is the most cheapest one. There's no comparison at all. OK, we have already seen an example yesterday where we were paying $1,000 per month for 100 GB, and for thousands GB of data we were paying $23. There's no comparison at all in the cost wise, and cost matters. We have huge data. If we pay $2,000 extra per month, it is going to cost, and this is just for the storage. It is not for, it is not even for analytical, or it is not even for maintenance. It is just for storage. Okay, and this is just for 100 GB. Like let's say if you have 1,000 GB, then cost would have been like $10,000 or more than that also. Yes, Karthik.
Got it.
And see, one more thing. As we are covering most of the technologies in this course, okay, like we are covering Snowflake, Redshift, Glue, Lambda, Visual Jobs, PySpark Jobs, Notebooks, Python Shell, or everything we are covering. Okay, DynamoDB, Kinesis, EMR we are going to cover. But this does not mean that everything is actually used in a single project. Okay, only few of the things might be there. Okay, if you have no questions, then we can wrap it up. One request, can you guys join on 8:30 tomorrow, because at 9:30 I am meeting.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Ashwarya?
Yes, Suresh.
Okay, so I'll just remind you around 8 o'clock, but we will meet around 8:30. Okay, guys, then.
Yeah, also.
Yes, please tell me.
Yeah. Can you please share that Lambda function S3 backup one? The previous one you shared, I think there were some lines which were not there, the ones you were showing in the class.
Ideally it should have everything, and even if
You
it's not,
had
it will not harm anything actually. Let's test it out. See, I have shared one more Lambda function to you. If you check in the chat box, that is for triggering the glue job. Okay, go through that. if you have any questions, you can come back to me, because we were going to implement that function at the end in the project. This is without. I mean, let's open the file. See, this is the one I have shared, and this is actually complete one. If I removed some line, those maybe were commented ones or not needed ones. This should work actually fine for you. And actually, this Lambda function is going to give you an error. Okay, I haven't told you because I thought that somebody will come back to me, but this will give you error. Try to fix it. Okay, try to fix that. If not, then we will.
Yeah, actually tried to run it. It gave me error.
What error it was, Aishwarya?
I don't recall it, Suresh, but yeah, there was some error.
Syntax error or the logical error?
I think it was syntax error. Not sure. Let me try to rerun it and I'll get back to you.
Okay, do that. Then we will talk about it separate class.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, then thank you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye.